World War I has cost the world around 30 to 40 million lives. World War II costed roughly 50 to 80 million lives. They're both very sad events to think about in the terms of loss of life. But I believe a lot of people have forgotten about something that has culled many more lives in the past, even beyond war itself. I'm speaking specifically about plagues and diseases. What I just wanted to remind everybody is that plagues have taken more lives even since before recorded times where we have counted bodies in things more specifically than just piles. Plague is something that affects everyone. Anything that is alive has probably had some sort of plague or disease come in contact with it. And I would like to inform you all that I'm going to be telling you exactly how a plague goes from just being a disease and turns into this disaster that is a plague. And what sort of disastrous effects that it has after it starts. And I would like like to start out with explaining what exactly is a plague. Up here we have a visual rendering of what we know as cholera. And what a plague is a very infectious disease that is commonly transferred through either water contaminants or contaminated air. And what disease is a very small microorganism that infects larger things to reproduce, grow, feed, etc. Unfortunately, we have a lot of these problems from diseases because of one of the reasons that we have big civilizations in the first place, all of our domesticated animals. A lot of our diseases that have been very dangerous to us have come from diseases that cross from being an animal disease to a person's disease. This is a very rare occurrence that hardly ever happens, and the only reason that these things flare up is because we give these diseases so many situations where they have the possibility to transfer from animal to human, such as coming in close contact with animals in such ways such as getting injuries from them or eating them is another way. But one of the biggest things that causes this is when we have had really big cities where we have so many animals going about in open slaughterhouses, and we have herds being brought in for trades to be brought here and there. And in the cities of London, back in the days before sewage systems were invented, there was even human and animal feces running through the streets, which today we might find very disgusting, but was a very real reality back then. And I mentioned that disease has taken more lives than wars have. And that is partially due to the fact that wars have carried diseases with them as well. Back in the time of Rome, if you were to say get one person sick and put them into a platoon, they were sent out across the world. And if their entire platoon were to get sick, that means that they bring that sickness to wherever they were brought. Not only that, but if you were to talk about more recent things, the more recent recent than that would have been the infection of the Black Plague, brought about by ticks being carried on the backs of rodents, which have brought those vermin into our homes across the European lands, which caused such a huge devastation to the population. It took an estimated 150 million lives. These counts are inaccurate because nobody was exactly keeping count back then. There were just so many dead, and it wasn't very common to track specifically how many there were. But it was blatantly obvious it was a huge problem because they had to send people out into other lands to be burned or just to be shoved off from their land on boats, where the horror stories come from people who were driving these boats who were all dead, came to shore and brought with plague to other lands. And in conclusion, I just wanted to remind everybody about where these plagues come from and what effects they have, because if we don't remember that, we will be susceptible to them all over again. And I want to end with a quote from a man named John Snow, who worked a lot of his medical career to stop cholera in London during its 3 outbreaks. And he said to his colleague, Henry Whitehead, who also worked on the projects of stopping cholera, that it may not come today, but a day will come that my name may be forgotten, but our works to stop cholera will see into the future.